Welcome to Hard at Play, Roommates Gaming's bi-weekly video game focused podcast. My name is Justin. This is Josh. This is Eric. You can find us over on Facebook and YouTube.com every other Friday when we put this up. And on the opposite Fridays, you'll find the Sausage Tray, which is our... Well, it's much less constructed than this if you watched last week at all. And thank you if you did and hung out for that.
I think it's much more honest and wholesome.
It is very honest. It's not wholesome, but it is very honest, and we appreciate it. You can also find us over on twitch.tv/roommatesgaming. Find us on Twitter, Instagram, all those fun things. You'll also see links for all this stuff below, and a link for our Discord. Please join that, follow this page, but join the Discord, jump in there, talk to us, and bring some topics to us that you'd like to see us talk about. It's a lot of fun. If you're an audio listener and you're listening to this, look in the description and you'll find links to all the good stuff that you can actually see. It's pretty cool. If you'd like to listen on audio, iTunes, Google, Spotify, pretty much everywhere that podcasts are published. We're everywhere.
Yep.
We like that. We like that notoriety. So with all that good fun stuff out of the way, we got a couple of things that we want to talk about this week on the show.
Let's just jump into it.
Let's just jump into it.
That's a different thing.
Actually, no, we're not going to jump into it. I do want to say that we had a lot of fun doing our Winter Olympics, our seasonal event for Roommates Gaming, a couple of weeks ago. If you caught it, thank you for joining us. Eric is the champion for the season.
I forgot the trophy again.
You forgot the trophy again.
Yep.
Josh, it's Valentine's Day today at the time you guys are seeing this.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So we want to say that we love you. Thank you for supporting us. But because we love you, Josh has been working extra hard to churn out this abrasively long live stream that we did and cut it into smaller, more easy to digest chunks. You'll see one that went up this past Monday, one I think Wednesday this week, and next week join us for our regular gameplays that start going back up. I think we're doing Crawl.
Yeah, it should be our Crawl.
Yeah, and that was a lot of fun. I had no idea that game existed, and that shit was dope, and I want to buy it. So with all of that also out of the way, we're gonna fall back over. Speaking of falling over, actually, the first topic on our agenda is the coronavirus and how it's hitting production on a lot of different video game companies and developers. That was a really bad segue. I don't feel bad about it, though. We're also going to talk about the PS5 website that has apparently gone live with no price, release information, or anything else. But hey,
it's just a URL.
Yep, it's a URL, and you can put your email address in it so they can send you messages whenever they think you're working.
So it's spyware.
That's exactly what it is. That's exactly spyware. Sony owns you.
It's a glorified newsletter.
Yep. Coming off of coronavirus, talking about other sick and dying things, Bioware wants to fix Anthem. And if we get through all that, we got another thing we want to talk about. So let's get started first. The coronavirus is bad. It's
But what is it?
So it's it resembles a respiratory infection, but it's potentially fatal for certain patients. A lot of people have died from it. Thankfully, there isn't a huge outbreak stateside, but there has been a number of diagnosed cases.
So it's like pneumonia that wants revenge.
It's really yeah. You could say it's kind of like pneumonia, but it's like really bad, murderous. It's the discopath pneumonia. Well,
I don't want that.
We're blending into another podcast.
Oh god.
I don't want the discopath of pneumonias.
We're relapsing. So yeah, the coronavirus unfortunately is a terrible epidemic that's spreading right now. It's hitting China and a lot of countries in the East really hard, and our condolences for all of those individuals and all of the situations. But how that relates to us, recently, Private Division, which is one of the developing companies behind the Outer Worlds, has tweeted out saying, "We are delaying the Outer Worlds on Nintendo Switch due to the coronavirus impacting the Virtuous team working on our port. To provide them enough time to finish development, we'll now be releasing the physical version on cartridge. Once we have a new launch date, we will let you know." So this is actually the second thing I've seen about the coronavirus affecting development of video game related things, because Nintendo said their Animal Crossing Special Edition Switches have been slowed down in production development.
Yeah.
because of the same deal.
Yeah,
And
I heard
that's
about that one.
because Nintendo, Microsoft, and Sony all use developing or manufacturing companies in Taiwan.
Yep.
So I just wanted to see real quick. We're not going to linger on this topic. What are y'all's thoughts about how the plague hits as we're expecting a new video game console generation?
It's a huge conspiracy, and I would really like someone to figure out where it started.
Actually, a guy did blow the whistle on the coronavirus in like the
really?
lab that it was. I guess like it was
it
released
Trump?
from because it was detained. No, it was in. It was in Taiwan or China. One of those.
Yeah, I think it was China. Like,
Yeah,
because I think the government. He's dead now.
Yeah, he died last week.
Yeah,
He died last week.
because there were like doctors and stuff trying to like, hey, no, that you need to be, pay attention to this, but the Chinese government and the glory that be to them. Yeah, I'm calling them out. Fuck China.
Whoa!
Blizzard's gonna shut you down.
Hey, free Hong Kong.
I haven't used that technical difficulties asset in a couple weeks. I guess
I have thoughts about that. Free Hong Kong, down with China. No,
Don't add us, Blizzard.
no shit. Add us. We need the followers.
At us, China, you Winnie the Pooh bear controlled son of. No, okay, no, but they were like shutting doctors down and like, no, what you're saying, because they didn't, obviously there's a fuck ton of people in China and they didn't want them all to like
Panic. So
But
there's a difference. Do you want your people to panic, or do you want them to die?
China probably wants both.
I mean, are we any different?
I mean,
Not really.
But-
we try to quiet that message the same way. Like,
But-
the United States would shut that shit down.
but they were like, well, the U.S. wouldn't just like just straight up like throw them in jail for saying anything against their.
Wouldn't we though?
Not for like
No.
medical
the
reasons.
CDC might sue them.
I was about to say, because the CDC, like, they'll be like, no, y'all need to fucking do this right the hell now or else.
All right, reel in the politics. Let's get back to where we were.
Sorry about that. But they were like throwing people in like jail and doctors detaining them for even saying that there could be a problem. And him, one of the biggest ones, who was a doctor who was like working on it and was like trying to get it contained. They put him. I think they put him in prison too, and he like died last.
Yeah, he died.
He died last week.
He was the original leak,
Yep.
the original whistleblower for naming the coronavirus and trying to get the word out about it. He died last week. So
I wonder if he slipped in prison or
No, he probably died of the coronavirus.
he did. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he died of the coronavirus.
He did.
How he got it's a mystery.
It's irony.
It's irony. Yeah, unfortunate irony, but
Yeah, terrible circumstances.
I mean, if I was going to assassinate a whistleblower on a disease, I would definitely kill them with that disease.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. Man, we are going off the rails on this.
this is a political episode today.
Hard at politics. That's the name.
Yeah, that's what the P stands for. Hard politics.
Welcome to Hard at Play, roommates game bi-weekly video game.
But like, I mean, is not a conspiracy for the game things.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm sure they're like obviously worried and kind of like maybe like a little like relieved because like, well, if we can just like say, hey, we're taking our time now.
Yeah.
We can just take our time because we got to worry about this now. So I mean, it kind of all works out.
Yeah.
I can't remember who.
It's not delayed because we're not on schedule. It's
Schedule.
delayed because of the coronavirus.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. Like, I just said their name.
Private Division?
Private Division. Thank you, sir. I had to pull my phone back up. Man, you beat me to it. Private Division actually said that it'll cut back on them having to enforce crunch for other offices. So that's what they're going with. Like, they'd rather those people take, like, the people that are affected take the time and get better and not put additional stress on their domestic
workload on
offices.
Because
And that's a
crunch
good
is
idea.
crunch is dumb and should never be practiced.
Exactly. Crunch is a bad thing. And you know, from a business perspective, it's like, all right, we set a deadline and we don't want to move to this or this or this.
Don't set a deadline.
You got to think about your human resources, though. You can't, like, you can't put all that shit just on a group of people and be like, all right, our fiscal year depends on you guys, and if you fail, we all fail. So no, you're gonna have next year.
I was gonna say like crunch is bad, but like in anything, it's almost like expected.
Yeah.
There's all like any profession has some crunch time to it. Like construction has like when you're like, oh, I've got to get to this. The building has to be finished now.
Yeah,
we have to. Yeah, everybody's working 12-hour days.
I understand.
Oh well.
I understand. There's a reasonable window in time where this project should be done, but if you have to crunch to get it done, fire whoever thought that was a good idea. Because clearly they didn't manage their time very well.
I half and half agree with you.
Yes and no.
Because sometimes it is a matter of, you didn't manage this project accordingly, but a lot of times it's a matter of, well, there's 10,000 other factors that go into this that could cause delay that are outside of your control, and that's
true.
But you work those in.
If there's an unavoidable obstacle that causes delays, delay. Don't go, all right, well, now we got to work 12-hour days.
I believe in delays. However, I completely and totally understand fiscal calendars, because it gets to a point, especially for domestic developers, where you got to report a loss if you haven't released that. If that title is supposed to come out in fiscal year 2020 and you haven't released it, you have to report that as a loss because you've invested all this money into development of it. And now you got to go be like, hey, it's tax time and I didn't make any money, so I'm failing. And then next year it's going to be like, well, you had planned for X amount, but you spent X amount and you made this astronomical amount. So what the hell happened here? Like, it's a lot of rework in those accounting departments, and it's really where the dime falls is how they're going to hit tax wise.
Yeah.
But with all of that, with all that under consideration, I agree with you. I prefer delays over human crunch. I will always prefer delays over human crunch.
Like in construction and whatnot, and like other real world applications of where crunch happens, I'll back off a little bit on those. But in video games, I have never seen crunch as useful.
Yeah.
Because every time I hear this company crunched, I'm like, so they crunched to get this game out in 6 months when they could have taken the whole year if they wanted to. They could have just planned fiscally for it's coming out next year.
Yeah. And it
would have avoided all of that crunch.
Usually a negative impact on the product too.
Yeah.
Unless you're Rockstar, then you just fucking chain people up, make it work, and it works. So yeah, like it's a very unfortunate situation surrounding the delays of the coronavirus and any companies impacted, any people impacted. But I believe it makes sense to allow for delays. Hardware is a questionable thing, like because right now they're locked into that holiday 2020, and it's February right now. You have the entire year to realign production plans and go somewhere else and figure something else out. So it's kind of too early to say that it's an impact right now. But, I've played a lot of The Last of Us, so I know how south this shit can go real fast. I just, I want to be able to play The Last of Us 2 before, we all get the plague. So.
Little did you know you're actually going to be playing The Last of Us 2 in real life.
I'm living it. I'm living it.
No, we're actually living Plague Inc.
No.
Oh, shit.
Let me tell you something.
Iceland will never be touched, so we don't have to worry about it.
We are only 35 days away from living Animal Crossing New Horizons.
How?
That's my fucking life as of 35 days from now.
Okay. Yeah. So how are we living our existence?
No, I'm gonna tell you, like, I'm setting my alarm 30 minutes earlier so that my kids can get on the bus and we don't have to worry about driving them to school, just to make sure that extra 30 minutes can be utilized.
I mean,
start playing it late. Wait for it to drop at midnight, and be irresponsible that way.
Idea.
I mean, I kind of understand where you're coming from with that one, because on March 13th, I'm going to be pretty much exclusively living in the Sengoku era Japan.
Yep, 28 days away. 28 days. And I'm only
28 days.
I only know that because I just subtracted 7 from 35. So there you go.
28 days later.
Yeah. All right.
We all die of the coronavirus.
Shit.
So hardware is pending. You know, we might see delays on stuff like that. At least see delays in information as far as when things are going to be available.
Yeah, because
But
a part of me doesn't think they've probably haven't started production like on them quite yet.
I don't think they have not started mass production.
Yeah,
I'm saying that's like a May thing.
Yeah, like chips and components that go into it probably are ready, but like putting everything together and putting into a box probably not.
You've got your ship one dev kits, but then they're gonna have to send out like actual consoles, like finished production consoles to developers so they can run tests on that hardware and not on dev kit hardware. So those I imagine are going to go out a lot sooner.
Because I've heard that the dev kits are wildly different sometimes than the actual production model.
Oh yeah, they are. They're never similar.
Yeah,
they're never similar. But with that being said, we're still waiting on news for the next generation. And Sony is trying to keep you in the loop with that.
Sure they are.
Sure.
Yep. As much as they can. The PlayStation 5 website has launched. It launched last week. And there's no information on that website. Just a basic landing page that says, we're going to tell you more when we're ready. We're not there yet. But if you want to know about price and design and yada, 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 fill out this email box and we'll put you on our newsletter to let you know when we're ready to say something, which is almost insulting in my opinion.
It's a little insulting
because when the news is out there, you'll fucking know.
Yeah, you'll know. You don't need them to tell you.
Yeah, you don't. The only thing they're gonna do is say, "Hey, tune into this reveal event on this date."
Yeah.
Which if you have your pulse anywhere on the half dead body of the video game like fan world, then you'll know when those things are going to happen, especially if you tune in to Hard at Play every other Friday on Roommates Gaming.
That mid-roll plug.
Yeah, that mid-roll plug of what you're already fucking watching.
Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and click that little bell icon to be.
Yep. Jump in the comments, tell us what you liked, what we were wrong about, everything else. And same with the Discord. All right.
YouTube. Is that good? Did we pleasure?
Other things. We did it.
Did we pleasure you, YouTube? Is that what you wanted?
Did we do it? Please. All right.
It wasn't.
It wasn't.
It wasn't. No, this isn't, family friendly. And
I know you said that, but I heard it as Ron Howard. Like from the rest. It wasn't. A lot of industry analysts are thinking that Sony is waiting on Xbox to announce a price.
Oh no, yeah, I'm 100% expecting when Xbox finally announces their price, the website's not going to have like a countdown and like a place to enter your email anymore. It's just going to have a number.
Yeah, just like the $2.99. Yeah, the fucking timeless.
It's just going to be a big number.
Yeah.
That's it.
Does it after the fiasco of PS3, Xbox 360, where they're like they went first and the 360 was like, yeah, it's actually affordable. I feel like they're never gonna like go
they're
back.
real petty about that.
We're never gonna say our price first.
Yeah, they're
waiting for Xbox.
They are
not
very
doing it.
petty about it now.
Yeah. Because, I mean, they were the first ones to pull that shit though. Like I said, like when they walked up and said $2.99, then like walked off stage. That was their whole E3 presser. That was fucking wonderful.
What happened last year? They got dunked on from this is the PS3. It's like $500, and the Xbox was like, "Are you serious? This bitch is like 300. What are you talking about?"
Yep. Yep.
And
there's a cheaper model with no hard drive. Doesn't make any sense, but
and that's why one of the reasons why I'm like, the PS3 wasn't really that great of a console. Like specs wise, it was pretty impressive, but
price wise,
I enjoyed my 360 until the PS4 came out. Then I really enjoyed my PlayStation 4.
I loved my PlayStation 3s. Both of them. Up until the point that both of them melted. Like
they were a nuclear reactor.
They were fucking terrible. Like the console was great. There were great games on it, but yeah, man, it imploded.
And then once they melted down, you had to move out of wherever you were living at the time because of the nuclear radiation.
I did. I moved to Florida because I destroyed North Carolina.
Only now is the radiation level safe.
No, I melted one in Florida, then I turned around and moved back. Funny thing is, that's not a joke.
Yeah. When the PS3 got announced, I kind of regretfully looked at my PlayStation 2 and went, I'm sorry, buddy. I guess I'm an Xbox fan now.
You're good enough for me, old girl. It's okay.
Take it out of pasture.
And then the PlayStation 4 came out, and I'm like, I am back home. Hell yeah.
It's my console. I'll do it.
It's funny that people say Sony is waiting because, as you pointed out a couple weeks ago on a podcast, you know, their whole business model is changing, and it's going more towards streaming and getting you hooked on that. You know, the cell phone model for the consoles and everything else. Xbox, yes. I went the wrong way with that. Yeah,
that's fine.
That's the way Microsoft's going in Xbox. To the point that last week Phil Spencer said that the Xbox's biggest competitors going forward are not PlayStation and Switch, but are Amazon and Google Stadia, which is hilariously laughable, but at the same point kind of makes sense.
No, yeah, I understand Stadia. I don't understand anyone considering Amazon being a competitor since they don't even have a product yet.
Because Amazon and Google both have very powerful cloud systems.
Yeah,
but they're trying to make, and Microsoft also has a powerful cloud system, but they're trying to, you know, get into that market. Like, hey, people use our cloud systems.
I just feel like it's a little premature to go. They said they're thinking about it. They're now our competitor.
No, Amazon.
You were about to say Alexa.
Alexa, yeah. Amazon is more than thinking about it. They've actively been entering this field for the past like 3 years, but they haven't actually gotten the product out yet. To the
3 years without a product is kind of embarrassing to me.
They're doing all the shit that Google said that they were doing the whole time.
They have the opposite business plan of Google. So we'll put out a product without a single plan.
So they're bringing in, like, they're setting up their cloud infrastructure and their platform. Say what you want. Amazon Prime is already one of the best video streaming platforms out there. Huh?
You don't use it.
He uses it. He does use it because I use it.
Okay, there you go.
He uses it, and occasionally we watch the same show on that.
You guys were telling me to watch Our Man in Japan with James May on Amazon Prime Video.
He uses it, but he doesn't actually own it.
Okay, yeah.
I use it in the sense that we're all eating dinner and I'm sitting in the living room and we need to watch something together.
Yes. Okay. So they have a very strong streaming platform. Of course, it's for video, not for video games. It's a different thing. But if there was one company that I think could absolutely dominate the video game streaming game, just come out of left field and do it, it would be Amazon.
I mean, they own Twitch, so they could use similar infrastructure to have it integrated with Twitch like that.
Yep.
If they made a Twitch integrated streaming cloud gaming console chimera thing, I'd actually be interested in that.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, they're not like just a
plug and play Twitch streaming would be pretty cool.
They're not just a used bookstore anymore.
That's not the PlayStation Twitch streaming app.
So I think we talked about this earlier. They had an announcement during the Game Awards for one of their games that is coming to the Amazon platform, and nothing else was said about it, but at the I can't even remember the name of the fucking game now. Like, but I'd have to go back and look at my notes from that night. But the very bottom of the game preview at the title screen, it said the Amazon streaming platform, whatever. I think it was called Fire Gaming or something like it. That sounds really stupid, and I hope that's not what they go with.
I mean, for the people
on the audio,
I just wanted to let you know that when I open my Google. This is Amazon.
for the people,
I just opened Google and it was on Amazon. I don't remember
domination.
I don't remember being on Amazon the last time I was on Google. But all right.
For the record, for the people listening
They're
on
both
the
after
audio,
us.
when Justin claimed that it was called Fire Gaming, I rolled my eyes heavily.
For the people listening on audio, I clawed my eyes out. So yeah, I mean, Amazon's got a platform coming. We just don't know anything about it, and I think this is the year that they're going to start talking about it, especially given that Phil decided to call them out the way he did and say they're going to be a competitor of ours. That's at least to a point where he's watching their cloud infrastructure come up, and he's thinking about xCloud. Google Stadia is being Google Stadia, and
a really solid piece of hardware with nothing else.
It's not hard. It's just a controller. It's really
it is all software.
But and the controller is, just a matter of your opinion. Like, you can really use other controllers with it, if I'm not mistaken.
It shouldn't be that hard.
Yeah.
So looks like there's 3 games they have, or there's New World.
Yeah, that's the one.
Apparently the Grand Tour game.
Sure.
Of course.
I mean, that makes sense.
I think it's like might be a mobile game, and then Crucible. It's a third-person, last one standing game of trust and betrayal. Each match pits humans and alien competitors with unique weapons and abilities against one another on lush alien world. But that one, I think they're still working on it. But yeah, the first one was New World. Fate has summoned you to the shores of.
That's the
but
one.
yeah, that's the one that had a really cool
The fucking trailer.
trailer. It was all CG and it looked really cool. But yeah,
everybody who went up to that tree thing died.
Yeah.
Started fighting the new people that came up to it.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be where they need to hit hard. Is they need to get developers on board. They need to get production companies and publishers in.
They need support.
Yes, they need support. I don't think the platform is going to be a problem for them at all. I don't think the infrastructure is going to be a problem for them. I think the support from developers and publishers is going to be their big deal.
The easiest thing for somebody like Google and Amazon and even Microsoft is the fact that they already have that infrastructure.
Yep.
The problem is actually the same problem that PlayStation had when they first introduced their Blu-ray player. They need people to actually use it.
Yep. I used it.
I don't mean consumers to use it. Consumers will use it if there's something there.
Yeah.
They need people to actually make things for it.
Well, luckily for the Blu-ray, people wanted to make stuff for Blu-ray. It was HD
DVD. Yeah.
Well, I'm talking about mainly like when they first introduced it, they had a hard time actually getting bigger people on board with it because nobody wanted to try and actually make anything for it until it actually turned out to be a successful thing, and HD DVD shit the bed.
I got my PS3, found out I had a Blu-ray player, and I left my house to go buy Blow, like the movie Blow.
Actual cocaine.
I'm gonna enjoy the hell out of this.
It's gonna be so real.
I got Blow, The Shawshank Redemption, Kingdom of Heaven. No, not Kingdom of Heaven. No, what is it? Yeah, Kingdom of Heaven.
Kingdom of Heaven.
And
the one with
Orlando Bloom.
Yeah, it's about the Crusades.
Yeah. And Phantom of the Opera, which made it my fourth copy of Phantom of the Opera that I've ever owned. So here's my thing. You're always going to have Sony versus Xbox as competitive platforms, but it really seems like Xbox wants to get away from being a predominantly disc-based media console. And that's either going to help them or hurt them. It's going to help them in the fact that a lot of people are going digital now.
Yeah.
But
like me.
Yeah, but it's they need to be very careful on how they walk that line, because when they said the Xbox One is a media console, not a video game console,
that blew up in their face.
Fucked them up. And I think this is what they like. All right, we're about game streaming. We're about game delivery. Every chance you get to talk about what your console does, they need to use the word game in front of it and not try to lure it to other things. Right? Like, put a fucking hunting game first party from Microsoft called Big Game Hunter. Like, make sure that that's on there as a predominant factor for your console.
People buy game consoles to play video games.
Exactly. Like,
unless it's a glorified Blu-ray player.
No HDMI in. Don't do that. That was fucking dumb. And I don't know a single person who actually used it realistically. Like, put your cable box in. That's just weird. Anyway,
I mean, it was a neat idea.
It was a neat idea, but
you didn't have to change what channel you were on.
It would have been a better idea if the Xbox One UI didn't fucking suck.
Yeah.
If it wasn't absolutely terrible for you to go like, all right, I want to look at the Xbox guide. Never mind.
Change my mind.
Yep, it was bad.
Like, it's so weird. Like
I actually want to pull my entertainment console out to rewire everything so I don't have to go through this.
Yeah, like the 360 had such a decent different even the eras of the 360's dashes looked.
The blades, man.
I actually really liked the blades.
Love the blades.
They were basically like little fucking manila folders that you just
with awesome sound effects.
Yep.
And themes.
The mark of a good UI is even if you don't know what you're looking for, you still can find it, which I cannot say about the Xbox One's the Xbox One's UI at all ever.
I will say close to the end of the era of the 360, it started to get a little too much.
Yeah.
Like it was kind of weird. Like it was like half
started getting
Windows
really
8,
cluttered.
yeah, half Windows 8, half like still trying to hold on to like the more like not cartoony, but like
well, it was Metro. That's what they were going because it was the Windows 8 mobile. That was the same thing.
yeah.
Just turned landscape and put on the Xbox platform. But that's what they were going for, was that Windows 8 Metro mobile kind of tile situation. And
I hate tiles.
man, I'm gonna tell you, I miss my Windows Phone. Laugh at me all you want. I don't give a shit. Like I miss my Windows Phone. It was awesome. Because what it did well. What it didn't do, I wasn't concerned with because the phone couldn't do it.
I just had to deal with it.
All my friends were like, hey, are you on Snapchat? I don't know what that is. I don't have that. So yeah, interesting to see where Xbox and PlayStation stand as far as rivals, because that's never technically going to go away, I don't think. If it does, that'd be kind of funny, because that means Sony just doesn't have a home console rival anymore.
I'd be okay with that, honestly.
Because
it's closer to my ideal image of just consoles existing in basically an actual true free market where I go, I want to buy this console because that's what all my friends are buying, and I can play whatever fucking game I want.
Yep. we talked about this before, and like if PlayStation 5 is 3/4 of what the PS4 was, that's the way that I'm going with it. You guys have won me over with titles, like the games that you have in your first party library, the controller, consistent. And the UI. I like the UI. But I gotta be honest, like I want to play games on PC now. And if I knew that I could get an Xbox to play those same games on my PC, just on my Xbox, that's just basically a living room converter for me. So I can go in my office and play on PC, or hey, I want to lay on the couch instead. Go in the living room, turn on my Xbox, and stream those games to my Xbox instead. I'd be cool with that.
Yeah.
But there's also, the NVIDIA Shield and shit like that. What is it? It's not the Shield. The NVIDIA box that they have for game streaming from Steam, the Steam Link. Anyway.
No clue.
I can't.
Like there are devices that allow you to play on your TV instead of on your PC, right? And that basically be all I want. Like I'd want to play my PlayStation for games that I know I want on PlayStation, their exclusives, etc. But if it's a PC game that I'd rather play on PC until I get lazy one day and want to play it on the couch, get something to do that with. Apart from that, I'm not really into the whole Xbox thing. I'll always buy Nintendo products though.
I mean, yeah,
they're consistent.
Yeah,
I don't consider Nintendo having a competitor just because I'm gonna buy them regardless.
Yeah, they're on their own platform.
Yeah, Nintendo doesn't really have a competitor in my eyes. They're their own thing, and
that's what's interesting because
never once have I been like, Nintendo's got the Switch, but what about PlayStation or what about Xbox?
I don't know.
It's funny. It's funny because Nintendo has had since their beginning had always had a competitor, whether it be Sega, the beginning of Sony, against the PS1 and 64. Mm-hmm. But then eventually they were just like, let's just fucking do whatever. Because even the GameCube was PS2 and Xbox, but around the Wii, they were just like, no, we're gonna go do our own thing.
And that's the really funny thing, because if Xbox does end up being like this cloud source streaming system as their primary focus, and the new Xbox competitors are Google Stadia and is Amazon Prime, that leaves PlayStation as an uncontended home power console and Nintendo as the uncontended home awesome console and portable awesome because it's just fucking
home portable console.
Yeah, like its own little genre, because Nintendo is its own thing.
Mm-hmm.
This is the closest Nintendo will have to a Sega in a long time, because it's two separate companies who both have games that are pretty independent to those platforms. And some people are arguing, hey, this is better than this, but there's no overlap. It's comparing apples to oranges. Sega games were Sega games and Nintendo games were Nintendo games. You know what I mean? And I don't know, it'd just be kind of interesting to see those console wars kind of dissolve that way.
Yeah.
And what are people going to think about?
Could you imagine somebody trying to start an argument PlayStation is better than Nintendo. Could you even imagine that?
I mean,
I see that shit all the time.
People do that shit
Yeah.
still, but
I follow.
yes,
I'm
you
in
are
groups
right.
for-
In hardware, yes.
No, you're wrong. They have better hardware. It's weaker, but it's better.
You're wrong. It is not better hardware. The PlayStation 4 and 5 is better hardware than the Switch.
Yep.
The Switch is just really awesome because you can take it wherever you want to.
That's
Yeah.
why it's the better hardware.
And I won't stop saying it. Like there are games that there are games that the gameplay is good enough for me to merit it being potatoed out. Like The Witcher 3, I am still on the fence, and I think I'm gonna just go fucking buy it because I really want it on Switch.
I couldn't.
I just am at the point where I don't care. Like it's so good. Bloodborne, if Bloodborne was dumbed down a little bit, I'd probably still be okay with it. That game is fucking gorgeous and scary, and I'm okay with it not being as scary as playing in 720p. But like, I don't know. There are things that I think the Switch could handle really well, but you're not going to see that kind of overlap. It's not the way that works.
Yeah, honestly, I view the Switch as the evolution of their Game Boy that you can just hook up to your TV now.
Exactly.
Yeah. I don't see it as a home console. Really, like yes, I play it mostly dock, but in its everything, it's a handheld gaming console that you can. It's a glorified phone that you can hook up to your TV. Where the PlayStation is a dumbed down computer that has to be attached to your TV.
Yeah.
So there are two different things. So like, which is really cool, and I think the whole dissolving of consoles, I feel like Sony will just stand on its own as being the only home console. It'd be really stupid if the next console that Nintendo makes isn't just the Switch 2 Electric Boogaloo. This time it's got more hardware. It's more powerful. And the Xbox can continue doing, hey, we want to do streaming, or we want to do streaming cloud stuff that you can play your stuff on PC and our stuff on your console. You can just do whichever one. You want to be lazy one day and just lay on your couch and play, cool. If you want to get in your office and play on your PC, cool. You can do whatever. And like, it'd be kind of neat, just like 3 separate entities existing and not really being competitors anymore. Just being, hey, you have 3 different ways you want to play games now, instead of being like, well,
So I really
gotta play Xbox or else, so I gotta play PlayStation or else. Just
I really like this hypothetical because it leaves all the Xbox fanboys still having to compete with people.
I just had this hilarious train of thought in my head while you were talking, where Nintendo's like, finally Xbox is out of the picture, we can focus on our bigger plan. And like we partnered with AMD to put a 3900 in the Switch 2, and it's like just this, it's still small and compact, but it's got like the best processor you can buy.
it's just a beast of a machine.
Yeah,
but
it's
it's
like-
just-
And it melts through its own
Yeah,
screen.
this thing is like super cool, like super cooled, and it plays in 8K. I don't understand how this works.
but honestly, I
would
don't
be
think
afraid of
Nintendo has
that.
I
ever.
would be fucking scared.
Nintendo's never really been like about power. Honestly,
No, they haven't.
like they've been about enough power
Yeah.
and
Just enough power to make fun games.
and enough power in something like kind of is unique and different. But like once like Xbox and then like the PS2 started showing up, they're like, well, we're not really trying to compete with that. That's a lot of work. We're trying to keep most of this stuff like in house and easier to like manage.
Yeah. We're just
Because
trying to
it's Nintendo. Most of their games are gonna be first party.
Yeah.
So like Mario doesn't need to be in 8K if it doesn't have to be.
and it's
we don't need a hyper realistic Mario game.
And it's not cutting corners because they're still doing so well. But like you look at something like Breath of the Wild, if you look at that game and then you look at the actual data size of that game, where's the rest of you? Because
It's tiny.
it's like 2.4 gigs.
Yeah.
How in the fuck did you pull that off?
Yep.
And it's
They have the benefit of still using underpowered hardware.
Yeah.
So they have to actually develop a game that's efficient.
yeah, exactly. Like Nintendo's like, we're not ray tracing, nerd. Like, we know what we're doing. But I like the idea of bullying Nintendo. Thinking about it.
It's back.
It's back. But yeah, like it's I kind of look forward to that Xbox or PlayStation being like an uncontended home power
Yeah.
console and Nintendo being
Yeah, I
the
really
awesome
like
console.
the fact that Nintendo makes relatively simple games that are a lot of damn fun.
They are. They're all a lot of damn fun. Like if you would have told me, and people try to, you like, hey, throwing this hat turns you into creatures. Like this looks stupid. Man, this is so much fucking fun. Like, I did not. I lost sleep because I was laying in my bed at night playing Mario Odyssey over my face and dropping my Switch on my face. Like it was just, it's all I wanted to do. Their games are so. They're so well constructed and well done in what they do. They're simple, they're colorful, they're fun, they're tightly made, and it's a good thing.
Yeah.
But speaking of things that are made well, we're gonna move on to our next topic.
Nice segue.
Bioware wants to fix Anthem. Casey Hudson from Bioware announced in a recent blog post, and by recent, I mean Monday, which is the day of recording, so today, and happy Valentine's Day again. Casey Hudson said today that over the coming months, we will be focusing on a long-term redesign of the experience for Anthem, specifically working to reinvent the core gameplay loop with clear goals, motivating challenges, and progression with meaningful rewards, while preserving the fun of flying and fighting in a vast science fantasy setting.
Do you know what's sad about the wording of that statement?
Hey, we're trying to give you what we wanted to begin with, what you wanted to begin with.
Yeah, but just the way they worded it sounds to me like when they were making that statement and trying to make it as PR positive as possible, the only things they thought their game currently had of value was how fun it was to fly around and the combat.
So let's think for a second.
That is,
it 100% is. It's just
all the game is.
A really sad statement.
That's everything that statement just encapsulates. So if you think about what they want to do, let's negate this to see what they've done so far, right? So they're focused on a long-term redesign of the experience, specifically working to reinvent the core gameplay loop with clear goals. That means that they recognize right now the game does not have clear goals. What are you doing?
I don't think it has any goals.
There are no clear objectives in it. You're just fucking flying around killing monsters and hey, I hope I get some. Like, is it Iron Man Monster Hunter? Who knows? Like, it's not clear. They want to give it motivating challenges and progression with meaningful rewards, which means right now nobody is compelled to complete challenges and there is no reward for completing them, which might be why there's no player base. And then while preserving the fun of flying and fighting in a vast science
that is such a sad statement.
They're point blank saying, hey, we know flying around is fun. We know the rest of it's not.
In the beta, it was a lot of fun to explore.
Yes, the absolute 1 hour of multiplayer that I played with you guys last year playing Anthem.
It was a lot of fun to explore.
What is Anthem, like $9 now, depending on what day of the week you pick it up? Yeah, I'd actually consider picking it up just to see what that game is.
For
right
$9, you're not really losing a lot.
You're not losing a lot, and if they follow through with rebuilding that game, like they're saying they're going to, it might actually be worth it to check out. It'd be like an investment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It wouldn't be the first time a game company has turned around their game to make it playable and players
look at No Man's Sky.
Welcome to the No Man's Sky podcast.
No Man's Sky, fucking Final Fantasy 14. It sucked.
What a glow up.
Yeah, for real.
A Realm Reborn.
Realm Reborn made people go, what the hell? This game's good.
I saw somebody tweet this out after Casey made the post. And they actually said Anthem, a Realm Reborn as their tweet. And I'm like, that's brilliant.
Oh, man.
But, if they did it for Fallout 76, it'd be great. But
I'm still... That game is dead to me until April when
the NPCs come back.
NPCs come back, and then it'll be undead for like a week while I try it out, and then it'll be re-dead most likely after that.
It's still going to be heavily crippled from the fact that it's just Fallout 4.
Yeah,
I saw an ad for it today. It's like this update free for Fallout 76 players. I'm like, well, it fucking better be. Like, you shouldn't be charging people for updates for this right now.
Yeah, no, like they already said it was going to be free, and it was supposed to actually come out earlier, but
Yeah.
I mean, hey, whatever, take your time to make it work. But yeah, like that. Like I'm willing to try it again, at least when the NPCs actually come back.
Right.
In the hopes of maybe it's a little more playable and like you feel like there's a little more direction, because like when you play that game, you just don't really feel like you're doing anything.
Yeah.
Even though that there are quests and stuff, I still do not feel like I'm doing much of anything. And it sucks because like there are some quests that like take you to some neat areas. Like I remember one time we were like exploring around together as a group, and we had like found these like really neat like homes or whatever. And like some of the story, like some of the like, I guess, design of these like houses and stuff. It was, I think it's on like the south part of the map. Like I think south.
Oh, those stilt houses.
Yeah, the mansions. They were like mansions, but they were like really tall, high up in the air. And like when you can actually like go in some of them, and like they have really cool designs to them, and like there's some like logs and stuff. Like so some of there is some things in the game that like make you kind of like, oh, this does feel kind of like a Fallout, but then you just are like, this is the grind fest, and there doesn't really much to do. Like there's the elements of like finding the neat stuff in Fallout's there, but that's it. There's no other thing about Fallout. There's no compelling story, or not like fun, weird, wacky story to follow, or like compelling story to make you want to go do something. And it's just meh.
Find a place to build your house and then have your house disappear because the map reset or whatever.
The ad that I saw, like the trailer that I saw for the update, was pushing the idea of NPCs and cryptids.
Mm-hmm.
So like, it'd be smart of them to promote one of the coolest fucking things about Fallout, which is the cryptids.
Yeah, Fallout 4's cryptids, that was a smart thing to do when they put it in West Virginia, to go, oh fuck, there's a lot of cryptids in like this region of America.
Mothman. Yeah,
there's a lot of them in here. We should just fuck this game up with cryptids, even if it doesn't really like make sense necessarily. But they try to like, oh, that's just like any of the other weird creatures. That's all radiation, and it's, you know,
it's just a coincidence
that they happen to be these, which is cool. They could keep bringing them. Like it'd be so cool to like them to like bring a Jersey Devil in there. Just like they could just bring more cryptids into the world.
Do you know where all of them are set? All the Fallouts?
Yes.
Where's the first one? The
first 1, 2, and technically Vegas is both California. Yeah.
Okay.
And then 1 and 2 are California. Vegas is Nevada, but there's a bit of California.
It's like on the border.
It's on
DC.
3 is DC, 4 is Boston.
So 5 should be New Mexico.
Is there anything in New Mexico?
Fucking Area 51.
That's just an air base.
Yeah, I mean that would be pretty. And the Brotherhood of Steel, that like Diablo clone game, that was set in like Chicago or Detroit.
Yeah,
that one doesn't count.
But that one doesn't count. It was a terrible ass game.
Yeah,
we don't speak of that. Just like DMC2.
Yeah, but like Fallout is like one of my favorite series, and I always wanted them to go back to the coast. But I mean, I get why Bethesda wants to stay on the East Coast. I mean, because that's where Bethesda is. And when they made their game, or you know, when Black Isle made their game, they were on the West Coast, so it made sense.
Yeah,
but also I think they're trying to do it to stay away from the original Fallout stuff.
They don't,
which sucks because you're still using original. You're fucking messing with the lore that was already in the game to bring West Coast stuff to the East Coast because you want to have those elements. Just go back to the West Coast then.
Could you imagine the shit show that Fallout Florida would be?
I have always imagined
that
Fallout
would be a
Florida,
great game.
of like a Fallout Louisiana, or
fucking gators spawning,
or a Fallout like Miami.
Yeah.
And I've always thought it'd be cool as shit, because like Miami's really cool because you're like, oh, you think of Miami right on the coast and you know all the lights and stuff, but then you're like, just look over the horizon and there's swamp. It's just
Yeah.
swamps. So
Well, that's the thing. Like,
And we
if-
can
so it'd be really cool. So you'd be like, oh, here's the beach, and then there's the swamp.
I want street sharks. If we're going Fallout Miami, I want street sharks.
if you think about the scope of Fallout 76, it wouldn't be out of the question to say no, not just Miami. Like, let's open it up further to the whole Panhandle, because it's only an hour and a half across the state of Florida from Miami to the other side of the Panhandle.
Yeah.
So, like, the whole southern tip of the peninsula, the whole Keys and everything else,
Yeah.
like that'd be
That'd be
fucking
pretty
really cool.
That'd be really dope.
And you do the Keys as DLC, like that'd be an easy thing to do.
But I think there was some concept art for like mutant alligators for when the Project 13 game was being developed. And they looked like wicked as shit. I really wish Fallout 13 would have been something, because they were trying to go for like a bigger scope thing instead of just setting it in an area. I think you got to like move around and stuff, and like there were the concept arts and like splashes that they mocked up for the game made me want so hard for a that game. And then the MMO that we did get, 76, kind of flat on its face.
But,
Yeah.
I was gonna say, when you were talking about how Bethesda changed the lore and set their games on the East Coast, I feel like that was part because, for at least the story that 1 and 2 told, there's not really much else to tell there without coming up with a whole new story. And if you're going to come up with a whole new story, why fuck with that area and piss the old school fans off by fucking with that area? And why not just adjust the lore, give the old school fans the things that they're familiar with, but in a new location where they can say whatever they want? So I feel like that's why they just never bothered touching back on the California, the West Coast area. I mean, they could do a different area of the West Coast, but I feel like the Enclave affected, at least, hypothetically affected such a large area over there. It would feel real weird going there and not having Fallout 1 and 2 again.
Obsidian, did Vegas, but you could do Northern California. You could do. I would love to see like a Seattle-based area.
I would like to see
all that
Seattle,
thick fog.
Yeah, I would really like to see
trees
Seattle
everywhere.
Like, I'd be okay if
really
it's
fucking cool.
I'd be okay if it takes place in a completely different state. But if they go back to California, I probably won't like it, because I'll just feel like this just makes me want to play 1 and 2. This doesn't make me enjoy your game. It makes me remember the other games.
I would enjoy it if they did it with obviously what Obsidian got to do with Vegas was really nice, because it was set farther into the future. So the NCR now was basically controlled all of California and were moving west, or they were moving east to continue capturing.
I still can't take the NCR seriously. I still see them as fucking beet farmers in a desert.
Well, they're much more than that. I don't know why you think that, but
in 1 where the NCR
I know
started.
they are, but in 2 and in Vegas, they're much more than that.
I can't
It's
get over
basically like saying I can't take America seriously. When they came over here on ships and basically just had to steal from Native Americans, and now look at them, one of the most powerful countries in the world.
Well,
they just started from nothing. How could you take them serious?
We're getting political again.
I could take them seriously because there are documented events of them spreading across the country and doing stuff. But with the NCR, you've got literally a shack with a farm, and then in 2 they're a lot bigger.
Because it was isometric. They're not very powerful.
Yeah,
of course it's not going to look impressive.
I'm saying the disconnect with lore there makes me just remember the first time I ever met them and go, that's so weird.
But it would be cool to because one of the reasons why I like New Vegas so much is because it's set in the future a little bit, so you get to see all of the things that the NCR got to do during this time, and now they straight up have been they're literally a country state now trying to reclaim America. But it'd be cool to see, but I don't know if I trust Bethesda proper, because it's not that wasn't the lore they created, where Obsidian was founded.
Yeah, I honestly
original. So they were able to go, well, this is already our content, so we can kind of tell, because Van Buren was the next one in line.
Yeah.
And a lot of things in Van Buren are in New Vegas. Caesar's Legion is from Van Buren. NCR meeting Caesar's Legion is in all of that was from Van Buren. So I mean, it was easy for them to pull their own lore and stuff.
Yeah.
But it would be nice to go back to the West Coast, set it in the more like current time that it 4 takes place. Is the farthest into the timeline. I think it's like 2077, I think is what it is in Fallout 4. Yeah. So 200 years into the future from when the bombs fell. But like what that side of the world looks like now, like how far did the NCR actually take over? Did they manage? Like that's a lot of 200 years of America got. We've only been around for what, almost 400 years, and look at America. What could NCR do in the time of? I mean. That'd be really fucking at least the next game, if they want to keep it on the East Coast, the NCR shows up. That would be fucking dope.
Yeah.
Like, oh, here's the NCR. What the?
They've made it over here.
What the hell? This is the East Coast.
Yeah.
So
I just think Bethesda's going.
You're not there.
We're not touching that lore because people will get mad the second we touch it, and it's not our lore, so we're not fucking doing it. I know people.
Brotherhood and the Enclave.
Wait, but that stuff. That stuff was the lore in the game at that time. Like, you can't make a Fallout game without at least talking about that stuff.
I think with Obsidian moving on to something like the Outer Worlds, that's just going to completely take away any chance Bethesda had of going down that avenue.
Yeah,
I don't think they're even close to retouching it now.
I know they want Obsidian's like, yeah, if they asked us, we'll totally make another one. But I know Bethesda's like.
No.
Nope. Nope.
Oh, Todd Howard is the only right individual.
Y'all made a better game, but you didn't sell well because we totally didn't sabotage your promotion and anything like that.
Well, hey, it's still on Game Pass. You should go check it out. The Outer Worlds is fantastic.
Outer Worlds is fantastic.
Outer Worlds is great. I don't know about New Vegas.
Yeah, it's Outer Worlds is good. What? New Vegas is good.
I mean, that's what people say. I've only ever played about an hour and a half of it before getting bored. So
seriously,
yeah, I've tried. I think 5 times total, and I get to about the same spot every time. I go, I'm not having fun.
God, man, I love New Vegas. Like,
he's a weirdo.
Yeah, like I'm not the biggest Fallout fan in the world, but fuck, I love New Vegas. I would like to point out that this entire conversation about Fallout stemmed off of the fact that Bioware fucked up Anthem.
Yep.
It's not even the same company.
No.
Not the same game.
The most amount of time I've spent playing Fallout was when Josh asked me to set up a modded version of New Vegas. That was the most amount of time I've spent in New Vegas. Changing New Vegas to make it not New Vegas.
New Vegas is fun, man. It's so good.
It's because we know in our heart of hearts that Bioware is dead. And they used to make great games like Jade Empire. Why never you made Jade Empire 2? I hate you, Bioware, for never making Jade Empire 2.
Jade Empire was dope.
That game was one of the best games they've ever made.
When that game came out, it was fantastic. I've tried to go back and play it, and I can't
get it. But it's so old.
They're
so old.
They're never going to make another Jade Empire 2 because you could have a same-sex relationship in it, and that's gross.
So we're going to scrap the final topic that we had. I actually have one question that I want to ask you before we sign off. I want to ask you, if Bioware is dead...
Mm-hmm.
But KOTOR is coming back.
I don't.
It's not.
That's a rumor.
It's a rumor.
And also, I don't trust BioWare anymore.
That's what I'm getting ready to say. Who do you think
you are?
Who do you think you are? No, who do
Respawn.
You think? I don't want to say Respawn because Respawn is not an RPG studio.
I don't care.
Respawn is not an RPG
studio.
They're
not an RPG.
I don't care. They're the only company that would get to do it that I trust to do it.
CDPR.
They're not EA.
They're not EA. But if EA could ask any developer...
They won't. They'll get somebody they own.
Quit interrupting me. If EA could ask any developer in a dream scenario...
In a hypothetical, CD Projekt Red would make a great one. It's not going to happen, though. It's going to be Respawn, and I trust them 100% to do it.
I don't. Respawn is not an RPG studio. I have a fear... And we're talking about KOTOR, right? But let's talk about all BioWare properties.
Mhm.
Let's say that we need a new heavyweight contender in RPG gameplay to make things like KOTOR, to make things not Dragon Age, but Dragon Age-esque, Mass Effect-esque, Jade Empire-esque.
You're just making me remember all the good BioWare games.
You're making them sad.
I know, you're making me sad. Oh,
Go back and play the good ones.
but they're so old, and it's hard to play them. Also, I don't have a 360.
That's a whole nother thing we're not going to get into, but apparently this week or last week, EA hiked up the prices on all of their games on Steam.
Really?
No increases on Origins, but BioWare games, EA proper games, they're all more expensive on Steam now.
I wonder if that's like, hey, buy them on Origins.
Yeah,
instead.
it's a fuck you. Like that's all it is, because they're trying to get people to come through to Origins. In fact, this week, PlayStation or The Sims 4 went live on PlayStation for a PS Plus game.
Yeah.
And as soon as that happened, EA said, "Hey, Sims 4 is free on Origin." So they're giving it away free on their platform to keep people on PC.
Really?
Yeah. So,
Shit.
do you have it?
Nope.
You
but
do
I'm about to.
Yeah.
Yep.
The Sims 4 is free on Origin.
Okay, well,
it's the base game, no expansions,
That's
but yeah, it's
fine.
still pretty dope.
That could spell disaster for our channel. Then Misty Cox might be coming back.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Oh my god, that's an old cut to some of our original videos.
So with that said, that statement was made at what time is it? 8:46 p.m. on February the 10th. So if it's no longer free, then it's not my fucking fault, because it was. And we missed it. So it's an interesting thing to check out. EA is becoming very close to the chest with all their properties, but they don't
petty.
They don't have.
Seems like a very EA thing to do.
They have BioWare, but BioWare is shit. So they need a good RPG studio. And that's what I want to keep coming back to. If it could be anybody, who is it? Or are they going to fund a better experience?
Unfortunately, the only names inside of EA that I know are Respawn and BioWare, and I trust one of those names.
Like, I feel like if the KOTOR thing is real and they're going to, I guess, remaster it, like, honestly, it'd be fine if it's just a not remaster, not remake. If they remake it, that would be cool. But at the same time, I wouldn't trust EA to do that again. Like, nah, just let it go. But if I would be fine with a remake,
I'd be fine with
remaster.
A remaster is going to be old, and it's going to control like an old.
That's fine. I don't mind the way that the game controls. I like the way the game, like how you play the combat in that game, because I like turn-based games, and that's what that game is. I would be fine with that, because I've tried to play KOTOR recently, but the problem is it looks like ass and it crashes every time I try to get off the ship. I'm not joking.
Windows 10 tried to play that game.
Every time I've tried to play KOTOR, like in the last year and a half, I start the game, get onto the ship, or on the ship that you leave from, and about the time that I get to leave, I just can't control it anymore. My mouse, it just stops. I'm like, what the fuck? And I'll like go into the menu and like reset everything, and then I'll go back and I'm trying to move around. Nothing happens.
I would be 100% okay if instead of remaking the game, they just remaster the game and just make it actually compatible and optimized for Windows 10.
Yeah, if they made it compatible and optimized and like made it look like not just like, oh, we basically just
increase the polygon
up the scale, kind of like what the fiasco with Blizzard did with Reforge.
Oh boy,
that was a disaster.
We skipped that this week.
Because when I first started about that, I was like, fuck yeah, Warcraft 3 was the shit.
It was dope.
And then it sucked. But
it's dopey.
It's dopey. How the fuck did you fuck up a game that already worked really well?
It was made. Yeah, it was perfect. Oh, fuck.
How did you ruin it? And also the little...
Where is this? Where? You took so much out.
Yeah, also the little slight little user agreement, like any maps you create are now owned by us, because we're not having another Dota on our hands.
Yeah, if we're going for a full-on remake, what I would want is Respawn, specifically the team that what's his name, just recently.
Frank Zappala.
Yeah, that smaller team that's probably more for porting and whatnot.
Vince Zappala.
Yeah. But that team with whoever's left at BioWare who still knows how to make a good RPG, advising them and showing them how to do it right.
Okay, so that's the most likely scenario for a remake, but I'm talking about fantasy scenario.
Fantasy
I said
scenario.
CDPR because it would never happen, but that's my dream scenario.
CDPR would be hands down the best choice.
No, my dream scenario would be the original team that worked on KOTOR to begin with. Just transport that full team into the future and be like, do it again.
What year is it? We don't know the software.
Hold on. No. When they get
Fine.
It's
like an all-star team, call them back up. Like, hey, I know y'all hate us,
now
but
all,
hear me out.
Yeah, now they're all burned out and don't have the motivation for it.
And where are you with the light rays and the God rays and ray tracing? What the fuck is ray tracing?
Could you imagine pulling that team into the future and just giving them the equipment they would have now?
What do we do with this?
Do we make bombs? Are we terrorists?
But I mean, honestly, I feel like EA could just be like, hey, people who are working on the Old Republic, make the game.
Don't like fucking. It's like,
I mean, I'd be okay with that, honestly.
you pull that same BioWare team to the future. And you're like, all right, man, I'm going on break. I'm gonna go play Resident Evil 2. That's weird, but okay. Like walking to the break room. What the fuck is this?
I'm gonna go play Resident Evil 3. Is that cool with you guys? What the fuck? Why does this look completely? What game is this?
I'm playing Resi 3. I'm playing Final Fantasy 7.
You guys still play those? Wow, they lasted a long time.
What is that?
What year is it?
But yeah, I'd actually be okay with that. I don't know what
I don't know what team that.
But yeah, I'd be okay with that because I mean it's not a bad game.
Like, realistically, it would either be BioWare would just make it, or they would be like, hey, the people who are working on the Old Republic who have assets for KOTOR.
I would rather have
you just make the game.
Yeah, you want those original assets. You want the original team with a passion for it. But the sad fact is you're not going to get that the same.
I would rather have the Old Republic MMO team
work on the
KOTOR remake. I don't want the current BioWare team to come anywhere near it unless they're one of the originals that actually still knows how to make a good RPG.
Because when they announced the Dragon Age game, the Dawn of the Wolf or whatever it was called,
no clue.
It was announced at the E3 last year. They did a teaser for it. I was like, well, I don't know why they're doing that. Because
I completely forgot about that.
Dragon Age sucks. Well, 2 and 3 suck. 2's all right.
2's all right.
3's all right.
I like 2 a lot.
1's the best.
If I'm going to play a fantasy game like that, I'm going to play The Witcher. And you'd be like, well, I mean, you don't have a character created on Witcher. Yeah, but they made a good character. So I don't have to worry about it. They didn't make it, but you know,
if you can't insert yourself into the role of Geralt, I don't know who you are.
Exactly.
And I don't want to know.
Exactly. I mean, that's just the way it is. If I wanted to play make believe and create a character and Lottie fucking die, I'd play Fable. Where it's a much more dumbed down created character, but I don't care. Fable's awesome.
The best thing about Fable for me was Fable 2. The best thing about Fable for me was Fable 2 and actually getting to play with another person.
Fable 2 is the best Fable. Don't at me. Fable 3 you could play with another person.
Yeah, that's right.
But it was not good. I didn't care for the like the skill level.
I completely forgot there was a Fable 3, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, that's the one that we actually played together.
You go to
because Fable 2, you to play together, you have a mercenary. You just play as some mercenaries.
Yeah.
3, you play your own character.
That's right,
together with another player.
Fable 3 is the one where like you go to the dream world and open chests to
unlock skills.
That was dumb.
Yeah.
Like
I liked it, but I legit forgot it existed.
Yep.
It had an interesting concept for the story, but the Fable 3 kind of was just like,
Fable 2 has stuck with me forever. I'm not even lying. My kids ask me now, like, Dad, what time is it? The time is very late. I just answer like the town crier. And I've called my kids Chicken Chaser, like when they walk through the house. And the best part is they've never seen Fable 2. They have no idea what I'm talking about.
You're just some crazy old man.
I'm just saying weird shit. And it's great. It's one of my all-time favorite games, and I hope that Fable gets rebooted. That's like one of my big deals.
I don't you remember they tried to reboot it. They made that on rails thing.
No,
The Kinect, remember that?
Yeah, you remember that?
Well, they made the on rails thing, and then they made and scrapped Fable. Was it Fable Legends?
Yeah, I think it was like a 4-player, like Diablo kind of
the
like
asymmetric.
Game. Yeah,
And then there was the trading card game, which I believe actually came out, but it was like the deck building card game.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was
I think
called.
I vaguely remember that.
Yeah.
You know.
I can't remember what it was called, but it didn't go anywhere. I mean, card games never really go anywhere. You have Hearthstone that just like fucking dominates everything at this point.
Magic the Gathering's still going strong.
Magic the Gathering's going strong.
Magic the Gathering will
yeah.
probably be around for the end of time.
Yeah. I'm talking about like actual like video game based. Magic is pretty strong, but
Gwent,
like
still very popular.
yeah, Gwent is iOS only for install base, I think, and PC only.
Sure.
Not sure.
Yeah, like
Those are the only two I know of, though. Gwent and Hearthstone.
yeah, because I want to put Gwent on my phone so bad after I got back into fucking Witcher. I'm like, I just want to walk around and do this now, which is why I need to buy Witcher on Switch. We keep coming back to this. So anyway,
shit.
I think we're going to call it for the week. We've had a pretty good run of things going on. We'll see how the news goes. Can't call it?
Can't call it.
Why can't we call it? I thought you guys had a surprise for me or something.
No.
Happy Valentine's Day again.
We didn't mean to derail your outro.
Outro, no.
All right. I'm like, all right, well, shit, we got something else to talk about.
No, we're just
Just being. I can't believe you don't remember that. It happened at your house.
Yeah.
What am I talking about?
Can't call it.
Can't call it. Me and Garland just can't calling it.
Oh,
You can't call it.
we can't call it. All right. Well, fuck. All right. So, real quick before we close out, we're 28 days away from Neo 3. Neo 2. Neo 2.
What did you say?
Neo 3.
Oh, Jesus. Did we skip through time somehow?
I was thinking that 3-player Neo game, and it came out Neo 3.
I think you gave
Justin,
Eric,
don't do that to me.
when you gave Eric an erection and a heart attack at the same time.
You did.
What am I, Cialis?
All of my blood tried to go to two very different places.
I'm keeping that in. So we're not going to record Hard to Play after a sausage tray ever again because 8 beer me is just not good. What was I saying? So we're 28 days away from Neo 2.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the only thing you're excited about? Anything you're playing or?
Occasionally they'll drag me into a game of Borderlands 3, but mostly it's me staring at the calendar on my phone.
He's not lying.
He
hasn't played. He is so uninterested in
Like,
any other game that's not Neo 2.
Like I keep hoping I keep hoping my brother's gonna text me like, so do you want to play Divinity 2 at all? Because otherwise I'm just gonna sit there and wait.
Just wait for Neo.
Have you played Neo? Like
No, I very wisely took it off of my console so I wouldn't be encouraged to just grind on that game for another 500 hours.
I wonder if that, if you were putting that much time in, if it would dampen your opinion of Neo 2.
Oh, it wouldn't. No, I actually saw a new gameplay. Josh told me that there was like a new version for the game that they were like showing off in like gameplay teasers and whatnot. And I'm like, oh well, I'll just look up a real quick thing of that. And I noticed some new mechanics. One of them from Neo 1. I'm like, shouldn't have looked this up. I was just now getting back into playing the games I was currently playing, and I should not have looked this gameplay up.
What about you?
Honestly, I'm not really playing anything. Like, I'm also kind of like stuck in a rut. I've been playing Pokemon Sword again, or trying to actually play through it for the first time again, because restarted my sword game like 3 times now.
I know when he restarts too, because he comes and asks me for my Switch.
I need to switch Pokemon over. Only if I had some sort of convenient way to move Pokemon to a home base or
We're not diving into Pokemon Bank today.
I'm just joking. Because I had
Pokemon Home.
Yeah, I would have a few things about that, but I'm not going to get into that. But yeah, I've been like playing Pokemon Sword again to like try to actually beat it, because I've beaten Shield, and like when the teaser or the announcements for the new expansion packs came out, I got like really into wanting to play Pokemon again, and now I'm finally getting around to playing Sword, because I was playing. Yeah. Don't call it Xenoverse. It is basically Xenoverse, but Kakarot. I mean, it's basically Xenoverse.
Basically Xenoverse.
CyberConnect 2 made Xenoverse as well.
It's Xenoverse with an open world exploration.
Yeah. It's Xenoverse, but a little smooth. I have a nice little review that I've written on my phone about Kakarot.
You can do a video?
Do a video about it? Yeah. No, I was gonna. Okay, it's not quite finished yet because I got a little bit of writer's block, but I had some inspiration the other day and I want to finish it up.
I meant to ask without getting into the review, so mostly just a very simple answer: 20 words or less.
Good luck.
When you said.
I'm a very long-winded.
Who the fuck you're talking to?
Who the fuck are you?
I was actually trying to be generous with the 20 words or less. I was like, I know 10 words is not enough for him.
20 pages, bitch.
But without getting into the review at all, more or less just telling me up or down. When you said that writing that review was making you more critical of the game, did your opinion of the game go up or down?
More down than it did up. It made me like, I guess, shell shock. First initial like, I haven't had to play a new game in a long time. Mm-hmm. Like, kind of like wore off. Like, and while trying to think of
kind of the curtain.
Yeah, when I was trying to think of things to write and like how to write it, I started thinking of each of the mechanics and how I wanted to write it. I was like,
how do I feel about this?
And then I was like, oh wait, I don't know if I actually like this game.
How do I feel about the texture on this tree?
Yeah.
Because it's so important that the tree looks a certain
Spoiler alert for the review. It's fun, but I mean, it's not good and it's not bad. It's just as arbitrary as their experience gain. That's about as how I feel about here's 1,000 experience for no reason because you need that new level up because we want you to be this level into the game right now. That's about how I feel about
that. Is entirely what I expected from that game.
It was, to be honest, that's fun, but I mean, I could have lived without playing it.
To be honest, that's exactly what I expected, and I don't think that's a negative review. I actually think that's a positive review.
Yeah, I mean,
I can't wait to read it. I'm actually really excited about
that. But it's also the reason why I didn't buy it, because I'm already in the mindset that I'm buying 4 games this year. I don't have room for a game that I'm going to be meh on.
Yeah, same. But I mean, I want to buy more than 4 games this year.
Yeah,
unfortunately, the 4 games.
And also, I don't like being in that funk where I'm like, I want to play a game, but I don't want to play it. So I like having new game. My brain needs that fix.
Yeah, so. we game a lot different.
Fuck, I'm gonna buy 4 copies of one game this year.
Like, I mean, I do hit that point where like I want to play a new game, but I'm real confident with the 4 games that are coming out. I'm easily going to spend several hundred hours in all of them. I feel like I could confidently say I'm not going to need a new game.
I'm interested to see what your PlayStation year in review looks like next spring. Then.
Neo 2.
I mean, yeah, it's
How did you play Neo 2 that much that it's your top 3 games?
If Neo 1 is any indication, I'm going to be spending a good part of next year playing it.
So if they announce P5S for US release.
It will be one of the few exceptions to my list.
Yeah, because that shit's dope.
Yeah.
Download that demo in Japanese.
There are like I keep saying, there are a few games on that list that we had for that episode that if they do actually come out in 2020, they're exceptions to my list, and I will buy them.
I downloaded that Persona 5S demo after talking to you in the Discord about it. Join our Discord. And it's so much more Persona than I expected it to be.
Yeah.
It is. That's so cool.
There was actually a I don't remember if it was a trailer or if it was like somebody uploading like a little bit of gameplay of it. I don't know if it was sponsored or not. But I saw like an excerpt from it pop up on my recommended. And I was just sitting there. I didn't actually click on it. I was just watching like the preview play, and on the mobile you can actually watch the entire video like that. So I was just sitting there staring at it, and I didn't recognize the character that it was about. And I'm just sitting there like, huh. And then I saw Yusuke's outfit, and I went, oh, this is P5S. Oh shit.
Yeah. Like it's because when they kind of announced it as a Muso-esque game, a warrior style game, I'm like, well, that's cool. That's neat. Like I'm interested to see what that looks like. Number one, it is pretty Warriors-esque, but I like the combat more. I feel I can't read what the fuck I'm doing. But I see the buttons and I try things, and hey, it works. So listen, Warriors games are made in English, and I still don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm actually further ahead in Persona 5 Scramble than I am in most Warriors games, but it's fun. I like it, and I want it to come out in English so I can play it all the way through.
Yeah,
I'm digging that kind of fluidity to it.
I'm ready for that game to be out in America.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Like I already had a pretty positive expectation for it, and then I watched him play the demo, and I went, it blew my expectations out of the water. Like I did not expect it to look that good.
Yeah, and so I've read some basically like translated opinions of the full game, right? Like people who played more than just that demo, and they're like, it really is Persona 5 with a different battle style, and of course at a different point in time. You already have all those characters to you, so you're not like trying to get them together.
And that last surprise metal remix is actually pretty fucking sick.
Yeah. I'm still a big fan of the jazz original.
Oh no, yeah, the original's way better.
But yeah, the remix is really good. So that's the big thing that I'm excited to hearing more about. But I'm not playing too much else at the moment. I did think that Rockstar needed some money, so I bought GTA 5 on PC a couple weeks ago.
I mean, Rockstar doesn't have enough money, so
they don't. They need some help. So I've been playing
after losing one of the creators. Yeah, I definitely need some money to
exactly. Dan took all that money in the divorce. So I threw some that way to jump into GTA Online because we talked about the Founders Pack and it was on sale for like $16. So I'm like, I'll jump into that.
It's the exact same reason I bought it.
The Criminal Enterprise Pack, yeah.
Yep.
So
I did it a long time ago though.
Yeah, I jumped on a PC. I'm like, I'll fiddle around with this a little bit, and it's still fun. It's still GTA 5. But saving the best for last, we're gonna close this out with saying again that we are 32 days away from Animal Crossing New Horizons at the time this video goes out. And we appreciate 35 days. I'm sorry, I'm miscounting. We appreciate all of your support and your patience, and it's going to be great. And on March 20th, when that video goes up, you'll know that I'll be happily playing and you'll not be seeing me for a couple of weeks. It'll be good. But gentlemen, I appreciate you being here. This was fun. Again, check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Check us out on twitch.tv/roommatesgaming, where we'll be doing some streams at some point. Who knows when. Check out our YouTube feed every Monday for videos. Podcasts go up on YouTube, Facebook, Anchor, all those good things. But above all, excuse me, like, comment, share, subscribe, and jump in our Discord. Be part of the conversation. Talk to us. Throw us some ideas. We love to talk to you guys, and this is a lot of fun for us. We love the interaction. So with all that said, we had a good time. Hope you did too. Thank you. And join us for Sausage Tray next week. Sausage Tree.
Sausage Tree?
The Sausage Tray. I'm out. We're all out. Have a good week, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Hi, I'm Joshua Shoemate from Roommates Gaming, and you're watching the Disney Channel.
No, we can't do that.
Hey, apparently we can't do that, so instead, like, comment, share, and subscribe for more content. And check out some of these family-friendly videos.
The trick is, they're not really family friendly.
Ba da 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 da.